And welcome to Life in Napa. Landscaping Part 3. Let's just finish it. So, hey, here's our pool that we had to make a decision about getting rid of or keeping. So we decided to get rid of it. And when we had the pool taken out, this is what was left right here. They leveled everything and they put in fresh dirt, so no more pool. So we decided to go with a company called Universal Construction to take over the landscaping part of it, to help us come up with a project and a vision. So they came in and they kind of took the remaining concrete away and started leveling everything. But we decided to kind of really go for it and resolve a couple issues at the same time. So our backyard had a little drainage issue we noticed last year with the heavy rains. So we decided to put in a French drain around the house. So these guys came in and basically found the low points of around the house with the laser level, then came in with a backhoe and basically dug trenches. And you can see here in this time lapse that they take these trenches and then they pile the dirt in the corner there. But they put gravel and this fabric around it, and then they buried it along the side of the house with different drainage points, which is perfect, because it actually rained while they were doing the project after this French drain was done, and it just whisked all the water away. So the French drain went all the way out to the front of the yard from the back of the house, and they did a great job. So we decided, hey, let's take care of this first. And then they came in and started to do the actual project itself of preparing for the pavers. So they come in with aggregate, crushed aggregate, and they prepare the ground. And they take, again, laser levels to make sure that it's going to drain the correct way. And they have 2 drainage points within the pavers itself. And then they just take all these measurements, get the lines ready to go, and they basically pour the concrete out, tap it down, compress it, make sure everything is leveled correctly, so they can get the good base down. And after that is done, they compress it down with basically a vibrator, and it comes out almost like a concrete base. It's very solid, very walkable, and it's ready for the pavers. But before you put the pavers in, we decided that we wanted to have a sitting wall. So we constructed a little sitting wall, and then where you see that little barrel there was going to be some boulders that they're going to place for us. So when you do a backyard, you want to tie everything together. So we decided to take the patio that's off our back of our house and actually paver that as well. So parts were basically mortared in, and the pavers were placed down in the patio area of our house, which worked out really well. So then that was tied in, and they slowly worked the pavers out towards the wall, and you can see the boulders are in place as well. So after they started to do that, of course, it started to rain again, so they had to cover everything up because, they have sand down there. That's how they placed the pavers in sand. So after that, the rain stopped for a couple days. They finished off the paver portion, and we had a lot of curves. So how they do it is very interesting. They use PVC pipe to help figure out how that should look, and you can see that we were figuring out how that curve should be, and they use a PVC pipe as a line, and then they come through with a concrete saw and basically cut the pavers to that line. And you can see this is right here how one of those lines would look after it's done, and you'll see they came in, they just cut all the pavers, and then basically they put a border around it, which is perpendicular to the pavers. It's called soldiers, and then that holds the pavers in place versus using like a border board. This is so much nicer, and it works really, really well, and it actually adds to the look of the pavers. So after they are done, getting all the curves in and all that, they pull in the polymeric sand, which goes over the top, and they vibrate that in, and then they water that down, and that locks in the pavers. And then we're having artificial grass come in, so we are, again, another drain goes around the artificial grass, and, these poor guys, they work so hard, it's like dig a hole here, put a drain there, pick up all the dirt, move it over here. It's amazing. Not only were they prepping for the artificial grass, they actually stubbed up all the irrigation as well, ready for the back of the retaining wall to all the plants that we're going to put in, and also the irrigation that to wet down the artificial grass when it's too hot. So they did a great job. So after they get done doing that, this is kind of how the French drain goes in, and you can see how that goes around the where the artificial grass is going to be placed. And after that is done, they prep it pretty much the same way that they prep the pavers. So the aggregate goes down, you put the form in, you figure out how that's going to look, and then you just vibrate the aggregate down. And then there's a special dolomite that goes over the top of it before they lay down the actual grass. And then, of course, we want another wall in, so we put in another wall that goes behind the artificial grass from the boulders to our maple tree. So this is how we'll show a quick little video of them, a time lapse of them actually assembling the three-piece locking wall that it's a sitting wall. It's about 2.5 feet tall. So I think 18 inches from the ground up. The first layer goes in, and that's the base that basically holds everything in place. And then there's little pins that go into them, and it's concreted down with adhesive. So once they figure out the pattern, the way it's supposed to look, because it's 3 pieces, they go in and assemble the wall. And obviously they want to keep it very level and keep everything moving the way they want to move it. So these guys were very, very hard, very detail oriented. We had a lot of curves into the walls and a lot of curves into the pavers, and they did a great job of making that look professionally done, and with a high level of difficulty to get all this stuff in place. And obviously we're putting walls in, retaining walls behind boulders, and then if they put another French drain goes behind the wall that ties into all the other French drains, and then they just lay the grass down and stake it in with the stakes and fill it in with some sand, and this is the finished product. You can see that it just looks great. It has everything's tied in from the patio to our backyard. Lots of curves in the walls, lots of curves everywhere, so it's just not a straight wall. It's highlighted, and there's boulders and to the walls, and then mulch in the back, and all that is connected to a drip system. So when we were done, it looked just amazing. So I highly recommend Universal Construction, Jose Guiterrez's company. They did an outstanding job, did a lot of extra work. They're located at 611 Soskel Avenue in Napa, California. Again, Universal Construction, great job, great people to work with, and they help you design it.